Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Khushi and today we are starting a fun little vlog. There's so much I want to share with you, so much I want to show you. We're going to be doing a birthday book haul. I recently celebrated my 23rd birthday. My loved ones have celebrated me and I have celebrated me throughout the whole month. So we have a massive book haul for that. Recently found out that Mr. Dan Brown is coming out with another Robert Langdon book, some secrets of something something. I have caught up with all of his Robert Langdon books. I used to be obsessed with them at one point. The first one I ever read was Angels and Demons, and I loved it. Then came The Da Vinci Code, The Lost Symbol. There are two novels that I've realized I haven't read. One is The Digital Fortress, and the other one's The Deception Point. I don't own the second one, but I do own this, and I decided I just wanna I wanna read it. I wanna go back into the Dan Brown world, get back to his writing style because it's been years. So this reading vlog, we are starting off Digital Fortress in honor of that release. I don't even know if I'm gonna read it. Like look at me hyping it up. I don't even know if I'm actually gonna end up reading it. Maybe this is me reading Dan Brown again to figure out if I actually want to read his new release. Moment of realization. Wow. I am about 100 pages in. It's not bad. It's just so much information just right at the very beginning. Like information. Oh, you want more information? There's more information, and then some more information. I'm just like, when is the story starting? We don't actually get into what I'm imagining the meaty part immediately. And I tend to like that in books. So, in this book, we have the National Security Agency, and they have this invincible code breaking machine. But one day, a mysterious code comes through, and the machine is just not able to break it. They call in their head cryptographer, Susan Fletcher. She's beautiful and brilliant and amazing at what she does. The NSA is being held hostage, not by guns or bombs, but by a code so complex that if released, it would cripple the US intelligence. I can't wait to get to the actual fun parts and the interesting parts, the parts that I loved reading Dan Brown for when I was younger. It's interesting. It's interesting to read an author I used to like in my initial days of reading and to come back to it after so long. Okay, enough of that. I am going to a cafe. I'm planning to get some reading done. I will update you further. But yeah, like I said, there's going to be a book haul, there's going to be some fun life stuff, there's going to be reading updates, and I hope you enjoy. I am apparently surrounded by completely crazy and beautiful, loving people because I have received so many books. And yes, some of these are books that I have bought for myself. I will tell you which ones they are. But everything else have been gifts, and I am just so very honored. I am sitting in front of a stack, no, piles of books, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. I have to show you what these are. Let's bat out the easiest chunk in the beginning. We have the complete Witcher series. So I got most of them in this awesome edition where you have the images from the show itself. While I'm usually not the girl who likes those kind of covers, for this series, I absolutely love it. Some of these were in a different edition, so it's not completely a uniform set as I would normally like it, but I'm not complaining because these are so awesome. I've been wanting this for so long. I've watched the show, I love it, and ever since then, I've been wanting to read the series. Last Wish, The Sword of Destiny, Blood of Elves, The Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire, Tower of Swallows, Lady of the Lake, and finally, the last book in the series, we have Season of Storms. I am so glad to have them. So this I got from a friend, a lovely, lovely friend who just Oh, what a star. What an actual star. This next set of books I got from my parents, and we start off strong with Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Believe it or not, I've not read anything by this author yet, but I am planning to start here and I'm really excited. I somehow convinced my dad to buy me this series out of pure curiosity, and I'm so glad that he didn't look into it too much. The Dark West series by Renix. I don't know how I saw it. My dad was with me. It was my birthday month. I asked him if he would buy it for me, and he was happy to do it. I have read the first one, The Predator, and I enjoyed it. I am quite curious about the others. So we have The Reaper, The Emperor, The Finisher, and The Annihilator all in this box. I do believe there's another one that's come out in this series as well, The Syndicator or something recently, like the sixth book, but I've not heard the greatest things about it, and we'll see if I want to read it after I finish these five. He also got me The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this, and it's winner of the Man Booker International Prize. There we go. He also got me Days at the Morisaki Bookshop by Satoshi Yagisawa, and it's translated by Eric Ozawa. That cover is so cute. I have read some of those quotes. I have seen how people have reacted to it, and I cannot wait to be one of those people. He is a beautiful, beautiful, crazy man. My father, my parents, my mom for getting me Atmosphere. It's beautiful people in my life. The books I got for myself, there was a massive sale happening at Crosswords, which is like a local chain of bookstores over here in India. And I found Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. Haven't read anything by the author yet, but I am curious. And apparently, this is also a Netflix series. So maybe if I like it enough, I can go and watch the series as well. Then I got On Writing by Stephen King. I have read nothing by Stephen King yet, but I have actually read a couple of excerpts from this book, and it's a memoir of the craft. Part biography, part collection of tips for the aspiring writer, one of the great storytellers of our time. This stunning edition for a steal, essentially just a steal. I got The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. Amazing, amazing reviews, and I'm very much in the mood for slightly like dark fantasy, gothic vibes. We'll see how it goes. Then I got this book that I've never heard of before, but it is a fantasy romance. It's set in ancient Rome. It's called Firebird by Juliet Cross. Literally knew nothing about it, but I remember being at Crosswords and seeing the back of this, reading the synopsis, and being, this is me. This is just me. I have to do it. A conqueror captivated, a witch prophesies to save them all. What more do I need? And apparently there's dragons in this as well, so I'm very curious. Finally, the final book I got for myself is Heavenly Bodies by, oh my god, who wrote this? Imani Eriu. I'm so sorry about that. Once again, this came as a recommendation to me from a friend, and she absolutely loved it. And apparently, it has all the kind of things that I usually enjoy in a fantasy romance. So I trust my friends. Here we go. After this, everything I've gotten is stuff I've gotten from friends. So let me start with a massive stack, all sent by one person. She and her mom are the craziest, loveliest people I absolutely ever, ever, ever have known, because they tracked down my wish list and sent me close to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They sent me 10 books from my wish list. It's actually crazy. And they never told me. So these books just kept arriving every 2 days. And at one point, I was concerned, like, are you okay? Did you steal something? Where are all these books coming from? So the first one is the second book, book two of the Rainwild Chronicles, called Dragon Haven by Robin Hobb. I have the first book, which I'd bought myself a couple of months back. I'm really happy to have the second one. I have heard amazing things about this. Then we've got the international bestseller that is, whoa, almost dropped that. The Reader on the 627. It's by Jean-Paul Didier Laurent. I am pretty sure I butchered that name. I'm so sorry. But this was a recommendation from Lena Norms. She was talking about it on her channel, and I put it on mine because it sounded that wonderful. We have Three Wild Dogs by Marcus Zuzak. It is by the author of The Book Thief, and this is a memoir about three dogs that they adopted, I believe. Yeah, they opened their family home to three big, wild, pound hardened dogs. I'm a dog owner myself. I'm very much a dog person. I'm so happy to have this. A wonderful classic romance that I've been wanting to read for so long, Kennedy Ryan's Before I Let Go. I believe we have a single parent here, second chance romance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Really excited for it. And we have comments by Emily Henry and Talia Hibbert. What more do we need? I love both of those authors. I'm losing breath. Next one we have is Beautyland by Mary Helen Bertino. It is about an alien who comes to Earth under a particular mission and then tries to find more people alien like themselves. And that's all I know. But I remember putting it on my list because it just sounded a little different and a little like something that would really touch me and my heart if it's written in the way I like. Then we have Bird by Bird, Some Instructions on Writing in Life by Anne Lamott. I don't remember who recommended this, but I do know that I put this on my list via a recommendation, and I was really going through a writing phase, and my writing phase comes and goes. I remember this was put on my list during one of those writing phases, and I remember reading an excerpt from it and being like, oof, this is inspiring. This is something I should read. So maybe I'll read this and maybe I'll get back on the grind. Let's see. Then we have The Husbands by Holy Gramazio. It is about a woman who comes back home and finds a husband in her house, even though she doesn't have a husband. She's not married. And every single day, there are new husbands coming down from the attic. Apparently, something like that. It's a weird magical realism, and I'm interested to see what she does with all these random men in her house. Aside from the fact that that's low-key creepy, it also just sounds hilarious. Then we have A Man Called Over by Frederick Bachman. I have been wanting to read this book for so long, but I haven't properly prioritized buying it myself. Apparently, I didn't need to because I have wonderful people in my life because she got it for me. I can't wait for like a cozy evening, maybe a rainy day where I pull it out, get myself a cup of coffee, and just chill with it. Then we have a sports novel by Taylor Jenkins Reid again. I am definitely building my collection for Taylor Jenkins Reid without even having read anything by her, which is kind of shameful. I need to fix that soon. But we have Carrie Soto's back. Know nothing about it aside from the fact that Carrie Soto is the greatest player the world has ever seen in tennis. But 6 years after her last match, she watches a young British tennis player steal her world record, and Carrie knows she has to go back and reclaim her rightful place at the top. Even if the world doesn't believe in her, even if it almost breaks her. Sounds amazing. Sounds exactly like the kind of stuff I would eat up. And finally, from the stack of stuff that particular crazy person bought for me, we have Martyr by Kaveh Akbar, and I am so happy to have this. I know I say that for every other book, but I really, truly mean it. It is something that's been on my list ever since Jack Edwards spoke about it. In fact, at one point, I was seeing it all over my Instagram, all over my YouTube. But yeah, Martyr is about this boy called Cyrus Shams. Ever since his mother's plane was senselessly shot down over the Persian Gulf when he was just a baby, Cyrus has been grappling with her death. Now, newly sober, he is set to learn the truth of her life. When an encounter with a dying artist leads Cyrus towards the mysteries of his past, an uncle who rode through Iranian battlefields dressed as an angel of death, a haunting work of art by an exiled painter, he finds himself once again caught up in the story of his mother, who may not have been who or what she seemed. As Cyrus searches for meaning in the scattered clues of his life, a final revelation transforms everything he thought he knew. We're on our final stack. We're on our final stack. The first one we have is a book that was shortlisted for the International Booker Prize 2025. It's Heart Lamp, Selected Short Stories by Banu Mushtaq. It's translated from Kannada, which is an Indian language, by Deepa Bhashti. We have close to 12 short stories that Banu Mushtaq has written over the course of their life, and it's all been selected and put together in this one book. It captures the everyday lives of women and girls in Muslim communities in southern India, and I have heard really nice things about it. Also, there's something about the cover that really, I don't know, catches my eye. It's not usually the kind of cover I am gravitating towards, but I really like this cover. I think it's just white background covers that I really love, because I also love the cover of I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. Now, this book, we have a story here. I used to own a copy of this back when I was in London, but then I got it right as I had to shift, and I had to move all my things from London to Bahrain and then Bahrain to Mumbai. And between all this moving around, this was the one book that it vanished into thin air. I don't know where it went. I lost my copy. I was so upset about it because I was really looking forward to reading it. And then my birthday comes around, and I am blessed enough to have people in my life who pay attention to these things and just get it for me. The story is about 39 women who live deep underground, imprisoned in a cage. They're watched over by guards. They have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only vague recollections of their lives before. And I really love the quote on top, which goes, "For a very long time, the days went by, each just like the day before. Then I began to think, and everything changed." Then we have a Hugo Award winner, A Psalm for the Wild Build by Becky Chambers. Don't ask me why, but I already own the second book in this duology, A Prayer for the Crown Shy, so I'm really happy to have this so that I can read it back to back. It follows a monk and a robot. Apparently, it's warm, cozy vibes. It's really sweet. This one, oh, I'm so I I was speechless for a moment when I got this. But it's Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that last year I did a vlog. I'll link it somewhere up there. And in that vlog, I bought a copy of Check and Mate. I annotated it for one of my best friends and I gave it to her as a personalized gift. She absolutely loved it. And somewhere along my journey of doing all of this, I absolutely fell in love with the book. Ever since I've given it to her, I've been thinking about getting my own copy and re annotating it for myself. I am so happy to be finally holding a copy of this in my own hands, knowing that it's gonna be mine. It's gonna stay with me this time. It follows these two teenagers who are chess masters in their own rights. One of them is basically a prodigy, the other one was very good at it, but then her father passed away and she sort of dropped out of the whole chess thing. This is her accidentally finding her way back into that world. Then we have a slightly strange one. It's probably the second or third book in the Winnowing Flame trilogy. The first one is Ninth Rain. I just don't know if this is the second or third. It's The Bitter Twins by Jen Williams. Why did I still buy it? Because I haven't seen this series here at all in India ever since I've shifted here. And I was getting such a good deal for a secondhand copy. And my friend was just like, "What are you thinking about? Just take it. You don't know when you'll ever see it again. We'll track down the other books somehow. Just get it when you can." And I'm easily influenced. So I got it. In similar fashion, we have another one. We have the second book in the Chronicles of the Witch Queen by K.S. Veloso. It's called The Icasa Falcon. I know for a fact that people are in love with this series and people love this series for the female MC, and I cannot wait to get into it. I have it because it was a steal. And how can I give up a good deal like that? Here we are. I just need to track down the first book now. After that, we have the first book in a duology. I believe it's a duology by Tasha Suri. It's called Empire of Sand. I have read something by this author before. I read the first book in one of her other series, The Jasmine Throne. I really enjoyed her writing style, and now here we are. I read about this and I put it in my wish list way back. My friend has bought me all these books, but I got to choose them at the book fair we were. And when I saw it on one of those tables, I knew it was coming back home with me. It is a fantasy novel. It has a magic system. It has a quote in the back that goes, "A nobleman's daughter with magic in her blood, an empire built on the dreams of enslaved gods." Sounds interesting. Then we have a very famous Japanese translated novel by Osamu Dezai, No Longer Human. It is set in post-World War II and it's set in a time of confusion, crumbling traditions, and the approach and impact of Western ideas. I believe we follow the story of Oba Yozo, who feels disconnected from the world around him, and he's going through his life feeling like a loser and a failure. And he narrates a seemingly normal life with its tenderness and relationships, even while he himself feels incapable of understanding human beings and their casual cruelties. I need to be in the know. Once again, we have a second book in a series. This is The Boy on the Bridge by M.R. Carey. It is written by the author of The Girl with All the Gifts, and I really want to read that book. Didn't find that one, did find this one. Also realized that I don't think I need to read them back to back, or that's what I was told. I was told that we don't have to read these books back to back. It can work as standalones as well. I don't quote me on it. I will research that again, but I really want to read this. Let's read the back together. So, Once upon a time, in a land blighted by terror, there was a very clever boy. The people thought the boy could save them, so they opened their gates and sent him out into the world to where the monsters lived. Uh, hello? Child Protective Services? That doesn't sound very smart. I do think it's set in like a apocalyptic zombie situation kind of world. Not 100% sure. And finally, the final book in this massive, beautiful haul is The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. I have heard that this author is perfect for the summertime. In this one, we follow our main character, Lisbeth Keaton, and she's desperately seeking a second act in her life because of things that have happened that just haven't gone her way. She's then named the general manager in Hotel Nantucket, and I believe there's a renovation that's about to happen. We get to know the lives and backgrounds of various staff members and guests. We have secrets and we have romantic uncertainty. There does seem to be some sort of romance here. And finally, is the Hotel Nantucket destined for success or doom? I'm looking forward to my first Ellen Hildebrand. I'm just so privileged and so lucky to have these kind of people in my life. And yeah, that's my 23rd birthday book haul. I am thinking now that I have all of these books on the floor anyway, I might as well do something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, which is reconfigure my shelves, because we've hit the point where I'm not able to add any of my new books on my shelf. It's not really sectioned in the way I would like. My already read and my TBR are all mixed together. I don't tend to like that. My genres are all mixed together. It's not even color coordinated. There's no rhyme or reason on this shelf. This one over here at least has some sort of order to the chaos. We have the classics, we have the favorites, we have the Danme, and then we have the TBR. I mean, there's at least something sensible happening here, but there is no rhyme or reason here. Why don't I just toss everything on the floor, let them join these other books, and I'll give it a nice clean. I think it'll be a fun evening. I have all of my piles of books sort of into different genres. I've done my sci-fi, I've done some high fantasy. These shelves are actually quite broad, so they feel empty unless you do two rows. I haven't done the rows behind, which will be facing my study table. I will do that. I have my YA pile down there. I also have a translated fiction pile. I have a romance pile. I think once I've done a little bit of that, I then just have some miscellaneous books that I need to figure out where they go. And then my poetry and essays and collections sort of shelf right at the top. I think what I need is a break and a snack, and then I shall continue. First thing in the morning, I wake up to this call, and they want me to send them an audition tape ASAP in like 1 hour. So I skyrocket out of bed, I get ready. They wanted it in a festive costume, and I filmed the audition, I sent it, it's done. And I've just realized it's so early in the morning. There's no food, water, nothing in me. So I'm gonna remove all of this and then go do that. Later on today, I also need to put on a sari and then go out with my parents for Onam Sadhya. I'm home. I'm so tired. I am officially over halfway through Digital Fortress by Dan Brown, and my current feelings regarding this book are eh. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? So here's what I think is happening. There are two parts to this. One, I think a lot of this book deals with stuff like coding and programming and machines that are built to break codes, and people who are well versed in these kind of things, mathematicians and cryptographers. And while that is all amazing to read about, I personally don't have an interest in these kind of things. So maybe I'm just not connecting or caring as much as I would have liked to. And second, I think I'm just not enjoying it as much as I used to enjoy the Robert Langdon series by Dan Brown. Now, I don't know if this is because I haven't read Dan Brown in so long and maybe just my taste and writing style preferences have changed, or I just like the Robert Langdon series more. I'm just feeling quite indifferent to some of the things happening in this book. I have hit page 280, and I will say some interesting things have happened. We have definitely hit the point where things are going on. A lot of things have been reviewed, our characters are going through trials and tribulations. This foreign code has entered their behemoth of a code breaking machine, and even the machine is struggling. And Susan Fletcher and her commander in the National Security Agency are trying to pursue one half of the passkey required to break this code so that they can solve the national security risk. On the other hand, we also have David, who's on a mission in Spain on the ground trying to track down the second passkey to cracking this code. And they're obviously on a time crunch because there's someone out there who already has these things and could publish it to the world, and that would basically just be a disaster. So interesting things are happening. I'm going to keep reading because I do want to see if my suspicions are true and if things pan out the way I'm thinking they will pan out. But yeah, we'll see though. We have half of the book to change my mind. I finished Digital Fortress by Dan Brown, and I have thoughts, I think. So, here's the thing, when I read a book, I don't want to feel like this. Mm, Maybe one of the main characters didn't really make much of a difference. Story would have been perfectly fine if she weren't there. I don't like feeling that way. I don't think you should be feeling that way, especially if it's about a main character in a story. Maybe it's just me, but Susan Fletcher, I really don't know what you did in this story, like what your actual contribution was. Okay, if I were to do one of those smash or pass tests that we've been seeing on Book Talk a lot, with this book, I think it would be a pass. Like I updated you before, I'm not really that into the whole coding, programming field of things. It was really nice in a way to get to know a couple of new things. I learned some things, but it's really not that much of a point of interest for me. Overall sentiments have almost consistently just been eh. It did pick up in between, and I was actually looking forward to the direction it was taking because there was this whole conversation the book was trying to put up about accountability and safety measures, even if you're very high up in the chain. Essentially, NSA has access to all the data out there, and these two characters are having a conversation about whether that's actually right to have unchecked power, no one to stop you, access to everything. One of these characters says that we're the guardians of the society, which is why it makes sense that we have this access. And the other character is like, fair enough. If we're the guardians of society, who's guarding us to make sure we're not dangerous? And personally, I loved that route. I would have preferred if the book stuck to that route a bit more. And I genuinely thought it was, but towards the end, we had the typical Dan Brown mad dash where so much is happening. It's the end of the world kind of feeling. And we sort of drifted away from that a little bit. So the book does explore it in some ways, especially in the middle, but I didn't really feel like it completed that conversation or actually took a stand, because in the end it became sort of something else. I don't have any strong feelings towards it. Yeah. If you're a Dan Brown fan and you want to go through his whole backlist, sure, why not? Yeah, that's that. I genuinely thought I would read a couple more books in this vlog, but then I realized that I have done a couple of things in this vlog, and if I do any more, it will get longer, and I have a very specific plan for what I want to post next, and I really want to get onto that. So, a few bookish days in my life, and I hope you enjoyed coming with me, and I hope you enjoyed seeing me just figure out my stuff as I'm getting back into the whole vlogging game. Thank you so much. If you've stuck around till the end, you're a star. We love you. And if you have, you might as well just hit that subscribe button, because we have fun here. That being said, I am gonna let you go now. I'm gonna say stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.